Victor Hale didn't just make money. He treated countries like startups and wars like liquidity events. If you could privatize a nation's future, Victor was buying equity. His only rival was Professor Nix, a quiet billionaire who never appeared in public and never spoke to press. But when Nix moved, markets reacted like he was a force of nature. Tonight, for the first time ever, the two met. Not in a mansion, not in a summit, but inside a cold underground data center carved beneath an old nuclear bunker. A place without clocks, sunlight, or noise, except for the endless roar of servers. Victor walked in with the confidence of someone who believed the world was already on his balance sheet. Nix sat waiting at a glass table, tapping an encrypted tablet, calm, surgical, unreadable. Victor smirked. "You wanted to show me something that would redefine liquidity. I'm listening." Nix slid a thin folder toward him. Inside were maps of pipelines, semiconductor choke points, shipping lanes, cyber infrastructure, and currency corridors, all stamped with future timestamps. Victor scoffed. "Predictive analytics, everyone's got them." Nix shook his head. "Not predictions, pre-trajectories." He tapped a key and the bunker screens ignited, displaying war simulations, commodity swings, pandemics, coups, naval conflicts, migration flows, and tariff cascades, all synchronized like instruments in a silent orchestra. Victor leaned closer. "This is comprehensive." Nix answered, "It doesn't predict the future. It simulates the consequences of the present properly." Victor's eyes widened. He wasn't looking at forecasts. He was looking at cause and effect, digitized. Victor whispered, "If this is real, you could front-run history. You could short continents." Nix nodded once. "History is the most undervalued asset on Earth." The screens shifted again. A crisis in the South China Sea triggered a treasury collapse. A semiconductor embargo exploded the yen. A cyberbank failure fractured a currency block. African lithium reforms ignited a growth boom. Victor stared. "So this is how wars price themselves?" Nix replied, "Wars are liquidity events. Peace is just the unwinding." Victor sat down. "Let's talk terms. Partnership? Acquisition? Licensing?" Nix responded without emotion. "No. Stewardship." Victor laughed, loud, arrogant. "You think geopolitics can be managed like cap tables?" Nix answered, "They already are. You're just late to the board meeting." Victor began calculating. Not morality, not human cost, but spreads, arbitrage, leverage, liquidity. If we trade this through shadow desks, we could break sovereign wealth funds. We could force mergers between nations. Do you have idea what a continent is worth in liquidation value? If you're into stories that blend power, money, and the terrifying math behind global markets, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. It tells the algorithm you want more. And it tells me you're paying attention. Nix finally spoke. "This isn't meant to be traded." Victor froze. "That sentence doesn't exist in finance." Nix replied, "Then consider this new vocabulary." Nix pressed harder. "Why build a model like this if not to monetize it?" Nix said, "To buy time." Victor blinked. "Time isn't an asset class." Nix corrected him. "It's the only one." Victor leaned back. "Processing. What are you afraid of? Recession? War?" Nix shook his head. "Acceleration." Victor stood. "You're underestimating what capital can do. I can commercialize this. You need liquidity. I provide scale." Nix didn't move. "Commercialization is entropy. Once the simulation becomes priceable, reflexivity kills the timeline." Victor frowned. "Explain." Nix answered, "The moment the future is traded, it arrives faster." Victor smirked. "Then I'll buy in anyway. With or without you. Data leaks, models leak. Capital finds the crack." Nix paused. "You already did." Victor's smirk disappeared. "What?" Nix pointed at the screens. A naval standoff escalated into a currency crisis. A shipping blockade triggered inflation. A semiconductor embargo rewired alliances.
months ago. Nick spoke calmly. You tried to monetize the simulation. You accelerated the cascade. Victor swallowed hard. I didn't start a war. Nick looked at him. You shortened the timeline for one. Victor sat down slowly. Not afraid of losing money, but of winning the wrong game. Nick closed the tablet. The richest man in the room makes the worst financial choice when he assumes the future is a commodity. Victor whispered. And you? Nick replied. I bought time. You bought the end. Fade out. Lesson. In markets, the most catastrophic trades aren't made from ignorance, but from confidence. And the worst financial choice is believing the future belongs to you, just because you can afford it. If you're into stories that blend power, money, and the terrifying math behind global markets, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. It tells the algorithm you want more.